This cushion is quick and easy to crochet. It is made using those inexpensive fleece blankets that many places sell. First, you need fleece blankets. If the blanket has some sort of hard borders, cut them out and just throw them away or use for something else. Then cut it up into strips. The wider your strips are, the bigger stitches you are going to use, and the thicker the cushion is going to be. And you also need more of the strips if you have it very wide. So mine is a little bit more than 2 fingers wide. When you arrive at the edge of the blanket, cut it like this here and then tidy it a bit so that it won't have sharp corners when you crochet it. Here's one cut up, and then we can start crocheting with it. I also cut up some different color fleece so I can make stripes. Then you need an inside cushion and a large crochet hook. Mine is 12 millimeters. It could be bigger, but this is the biggest one I found at home. This cushion is size 40 times 40 centimeters. First, we are going to make a chain that is a little bit longer than the width of the cushion. So it doesn't really matter what size the cushion is that is going inside your cover, because you're just going to make the cover a little bit bigger than the inside of it. I'm making a starting loop and then chaining. This kind of crochet is a bit different from using just ordinary wool or something, because you sort of need to work it more. The stitches are so much bigger. So just make enough chain stitches that your chain is a bit longer than your cushion. And make sure your chain isn't tight. If you crochet too tight, you won't be able to get your hook into the stitches then. So you may need to pull it a bit longer as you work. I needed 18 stitches to make it long enough, but you may need less or more depending on how wide your fleece is, the size of your hook, and of course the size of your cushion. But this is worked exactly in the same way, regardless of how many stitches you have, as long as it's the right size. Now we are starting to crochet around this chain, and I'm using single crochets, using American crochet terms. You skip the first one, and then you make a single crochet to the next stitch, and you take one side of it. You do need to sort of pull and make sure they don't get too tight. And the next one. And so on. So what you do, lose it easily. What you do, you make a single crochet on every stitch on one side of the chain, and keep making large stitches so it doesn't get tight. So you go on like this until the end of this chain. Here's one side done. And then we are continuing at the end. Sorry, this is now a different color. I had to replace part of the video and I didn't have any of the pink left. Here at the end, I'll make one extra single crochet. Just one. And just on this first row. You won't need to do it later. There. And then we'll continue with the single crochets the other side of the chain. So you see the other loops there. So this is where you will put your single crochets into. Do the first one here. And again, just so that it doesn't get too tight, you need to sort of pull them. And as soon as you start making these, that's the next one, it's starting to make, you can see that it sort of turns. So this is the way it's going to work. You know, you go upwards here, and this is what creates the shape. And then just continue. Single crochets into these loops. Like that to the end. Now I'm at the other end, the center is in here. And then what we are doing, we'll just go round and round and round. I'm going to do it as spiral, so I'm not going to make any slip stitches here and start a new row. Now here I will make one extra stitch on this first row, then later on you won't make any extra stitches anymore, or otherwise your cover will widen too much. So one extra stitch here, and then I'm taking only the back loop every time. You could take both, but then it gets even thicker, so I choose to use the back loop. And then continue single crochets round and round. If you are making a cushion cover in just one color, this is then all you do. You keep going until this is big enough for the cover to fit in it. After I've done a bit more, I'll show what it looks like when it's sort of half done. I will also show in a minute how to change the color. But for now, I'm going right round this thing, both sides. I'm at the end now, and I just continue here to just one stitch to every back loop here, so no new stitches, just keeping going every stitch. It's hard work. You really have to pull. I have a few rows now, so this is how the cushion goes into this new cover. If you want to change color, it's best to do at the side. And what I would do is I take the old color once, so that I have 2 stitches on the hook, and this is where I change the color. That's how it looks sort of tidiest. So then you just take the other color and use that to pull through those 2 stitches, and then continue normally using the other one. And that's all there is to it at first. So you make this now big enough so that it will cover the whole cushion that you're going to put inside it. And here it is now. The cushion is big enough so that the inside cushion fits just right inside it. Now the last thing to do is to close this at the top. You could of course just sew it, but I prefer to crochet it together. I'm going to use slip stitches and pull together these closest ones always here. So here and that stitch, and then slip stitch, which means that you pull straight through. So it makes a large stitch on top of this, like a seam here. And then just the same to the end. That one and that loop there, and yarn over and pull through all of these. And again. You sort of, it doesn't even feel like crocheting here, you sort of need to pull it by hand because it's that thick. and so on, and like this until the end of the row here. There we are. The whole top has been crocheted up, and then all you need to do is to finish it off. Leave a bit of the yarn or cloth, or what do you call it, and pass it through the stitch. And then really what I would suggest, that you would just pass this in here and not sort of fasten it off too much, because when you wash this you really need to open it up again. So what I'm doing, I'll just putting that there and pushing it through there. So now you can't see it, but it still doesn't come off. So that's it. That's it all done. It looks great.